Hello there, I'm Michael, and today we're looking at the Vivo X80 Pro, which is the continuation of one of the best and most well-received smartphones from last year, the X70 Pro. In the last few years, Vivo has gone from a company popular with domestic Chinese customers, especially in rural areas of mainland China, to a global premium smartphone brand producing high-end phones that pull in a lot of attention from the tech community. And the reason for this is they have consistently nailed the fundamentals of what a premium smartphone should be, as well as adding some special extra touches that just make their phones exciting to use. The X80 Pro is a fantastic continuation of the Vivo story. The camera system is a contender for the #1 spot in the world, and apart from availability in some regions, I would say it would be hard not to consider this device over the Samsung Galaxy or Pixel series phones. Pricing starts at $900, and even the box itself is well thought out. It looks cool and has this nice opening door mechanism to reveal 3 separate free accessories. And it also comes with a pre-installed screen protector if that counts. One thing you also have to applaud Vivo for here is the design, which is totally unique to its own brand. They've managed to make this thing look and feel completely different to any other high-end competitor's lineup. This blazed orange color and grippy vegan leather texture has become synonymous with Vivo's entire premium lineup over the past few years. It's a nice looking phone and it has all the top end specs: Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 12GB of RAM, plus the option to add more RAM from the storage if you want to try and run 30 apps at the same time. It's got the power covered, and we will try out some gaming a little later, but for now I want to focus on the #1 thing that you will want to purchase this phone for, which is the camera system. The main camera uses a new Samsung GNV sensor that was custom built for the X80 Pro, and images look awesome. The shots coming out of this thing are so clean, so detailed, and just so pleasing on the eye. I think they have really nailed the balance of making these images look appealing without them going too far in saturating or over sharpening. And it has no problem going up against the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which is also a great shooter, but uses a much duller tone in its processing with a lot of clarity in its images, which can sometimes give the shots quite a dark and drab look, whereas the X80 Pro has that kind of cool HDR effect with a splash of color which really brightens the images with a bit more vibrancy. Lifting the shadows and injecting that color really does make these pictures stand out. They look fantastic. It has a wider aperture also, so you can get that nice DSLR blur in the background, and it also deals with difficult lighting situations much better because of that HDR wizardry. All the other sensors are the same as last year's X70 Pro, but with a newly updated imaging chip called the V1 Plus. Images on the ultra-wide look great. This again is a top quality sensor that can easily go up against the best of the best. Again, shots also look more colorful on the X80 Pro than the iPhone, but in a less appealing way this time in terms of saturation, but still the quality is there. We also have a 2x telephoto lens, which battles to match the iPhone's 3x optical zoom, and although it's nice to have the 5x periscopic lens, there is a big drop off in quality, and it's nowhere near what the S22 Ultra can do with its sensor. I also tried out some portrait shots, and when it goes well, it looks fantastic, but when it doesn't, it looks a little fake compared to the iPhone, and also there is a lot of skin smoothing going on here, which doesn't look nice in my opinion. Nighttime performance and the iPhone just gets destroyed. It's not even close in my opinion. They both continue their processing characteristics from the daytime, and the HDR vibrant output from the X80 Pro looks incredible. The details that are picked up, the correct lighting in nearly every situation is fantastic. truly one of the best I've ever used, if not the best. There is also a night mode for video, which is less impressive. It's shaky and the quality doesn't look as good as the iPhone's regular 1080p mode, which yes is darker but way more usable. The X80 Pro does redeem itself though, with again some of the best footage shot in 8K I've ever seen. This flower is being blown around everywhere in the wind and it's kept perfectly in focus, which is very impressive for this resolution. 4K video quality also looks really good, very nicely exposed, and the colors look inviting, although there is a tad of over sharpening going on, but we can overlook that. So a really fantastic overall camera system on the X80 Pro. The main camera is outstanding, nighttime photography is fantastic, and video quality is also top notch. If I wanted to criticize some things about this phone, I would say that the haptics are a little weaker, and another thing is the speaker performance. But there actually is something big holding back this phone in my opinion, the choice of operating system, Fun Touch OS, which is an awful name by the way. It's so dull and uninspiring compared to the Chinese version that I have here, Origin OS Ocean, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite takes on Android. Origin OS Ocean, as I've said before on this channel, is one of the coolest looking, feeling and functioning designs on Android right now. The amount of detail put into this thing is insane. Custom animations for everything, and I mean everything, with really cool options to choose from as well. The home screen pop-up customization screen is great. The fantastically designed widgets, which are fully interactive by the way, it's just awesome, and the further you go into the system, the more cool stuff you find, including a pretty cool custom gaming menu. And talking of gaming, I had a pretty good time playing all the latest titles I could think of. Real Racing 3 looked great and super smooth flying through the track in Dubai. I turned it up a gear in Shadow Fighter 3 with my sweet ninja fighting skills, and of course I turned up all the highest settings on Genshin Impact, which did heat up this phone somewhat, and it did drop a few frames here and there during the fight scenes, but I haven't experienced any phone that could play completely smoothly on this game consistently on the highest level, and the X80 Pro here did a good as job as any. And if all that gaming leaves you low on power, there are some nice options for topping up, with the 80 watt wired charging taking you from 0 to 100% in 35 minutes, as well as 50 watt wireless charging. The battery is decent, but not overly big at 4700 milliamps. If I was pushing it with streaming, camera and 5G, I would lose around 14% per hour, which is not great but also not bad, and some of that battery life is being lost to the display, which is a pretty nice 6.7 inch Quad HD AMOLED that comes automatically turned down to 1080p out of the box, which I honestly didn't notice for the first few days because it's such a nice panel. It gets super bright with a max peak of 1500 nits, so you're not going to have any problems taking this thing outside. It's gorgeous to watch content on, and of course is super smooth with a 120Hz LTPO panel. So I read that this phone actually has a 4K shooting mode, but when I went into the settings, it only went up to 1080p, which is yet another Android phone, another flagship Android phone that cannot shoot in 4K, which is completely bizarre to me. But the footage looks okay, maybe a tad shaky, and the microphone quality, I'm not really sure. There are some toggles. Let's see, recording noise reduced on something, maybe that's background noise. Let me know what you think. Pictures, however, I don't think look as good. There's lots of smoothing and whitening going on, but remember this is the Chinese version of the phone and they like that kind of stuff here. There is also, of course, an IP68 rating for water and dust resistance. It also comes with a dual SIM card slot and reverse wireless charging. And I want to quickly touch on the fingerprint scanner. It is so fast and it takes just one quick touch to register one fingerprint. It's brilliant and has some cool features like double fingerprint security unlock. Definitely one of the cooler things about this phone. I really think this phone is the complete package. A little less so on the international version. FunTouch OS is not nearly as awesome as Origin OS Ocean, which will hopefully filter out to international markets in the future. But overall, the hardware features, design, and camera capabilities are top rate. And I really do feel if Vivo continue to create devices like this, then they are going to become very popular indeed, especially with companies like OnePlus really struggling to capture the excitement they once had for their devices. And for future reviews, including the upcoming Redmi Note 11T Pro, which I will be reviewing next week, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss that, and hit the like button. That would also really help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.